Hey traders, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about ticker symbol JOB, my top penny stock play coming into this next trading week. And we're going to go over some positive PR that came out in the later half of last week and why that translates really well into the charts. Because as we will see, we're about to break a key resistance level that could lead to a nasty gap up that's going to give us gains that are, a minimum of 25%. So without further ado, let's get into some of that analysis. All right, so first we're going to take a look at a bit of PR that came out Tuesday night heading into Wednesday's trading session and caused the stock to jump up 6% before the market even opened. And that was simply that the G Group, which Job represents, announced it has repaid approximately $56 million in aggregate outstanding debt. That's a huge amount of debt to repay for a company that small. That's going to make future earnings look a lot better than they have in the past. So that is a super positive indicator that kind of started to move the stock back in the right direction, but it was not the only one. We also saw a ton of institutional buying. This came out Friday after hours, and as we're going to see soon, it may have sent Job over a key resistance level, but we saw a 13G filed by the Lind Global Macro Fund, and they claimed a 7.4 stake. We saw a lot of institutional buying this week. A lot of different institutions trying to get in for cheap because they know that this stock is about to take off and they wanted to be a part of it. But it wasn't just, outside institutions. We also saw a lot of internal buying. This was filed also on Tuesday. We saw that the CEO of G Group, which once again, ticker symbol JOB represents, he bought 166,000 shares, once again, trying to get in for cheap, but also he wasn't the only one. We saw a lot of different insiders, the CFO as well, buy tons of shares. Everybody is buying in at these cheap prices, and that's really causing something interesting to happen on the chart. So now let's get right into it. Looking at this chart, this past month has been brutal for JOB. The market started to turn a little bit bearish. We saw kind of a market correction, and then we saw a huge drop off right here. This was when JOB announced that they were going to file to add more shares to the float. They were going to dilute some shares. They were doing an offering. And so that caused JOB to fall all the way to the 50-cent range, even though it was almost at $2 just a month before. This is a sell-off that is completely overblown, and we saw a lot of big whales take advantage of these cheap prices. Taking a look at just the OBV, which kind of represents, big institutional buying, we're seeing right now more interest in JOB, more buying of JOB right now than what we saw when, it was at near tops. This is very impressive, and it shows that, these big institutional buyers are expecting to see JOB make a big move up coming very, very soon. But, what's really interesting when looking at this chart is just how clean of a setup it is for this nasty gap up. So as soon as we get over this 63-cent resistance, if we look at this, graph on a historical level, we won't really see any further resistance until the mid 80-cent range. That's, a 30 to 35% increase before we started to see some resistance in the past on JOB. This is absolutely a huge gainer. We know that as soon as we get over the 63-cent level, we should be expecting to see the mid 80s very, very soon. And we could see that as soon as Monday because, like I said, that 13G filing that happened Friday after hours actually caused Job stock to close above that key resistance level, 64 cents. Now, I don't read too much into after hours movement, into pre-market movement, but I could see JOB opening up above, that 63-cent resistance, coming to test it on Monday. And if it can test it and hold, Then we're going to see that nasty gap up we're talking about. This is just as clean of a setup as you'll find in the stock market. It's something I'm very optimistic to play this coming week. I hope you guys are as well. Um, if you have any questions about this, please let me know. If you agree, if you disagree, let me know. I'm new to this whole YouTube thing. So if you could help out by liking, by subscribing, that would be awesome if you want to see more content like this. And that being said, have a great rest of your night.